Good evening to one and all present. It gives me immense pleasure to extend a very warm welcome to all of you present here on behalf of the entire Genesis Club. I now welcome the speaker of the day, Mr. Saroj Dandoti.
Yeah, all right. So, hello everyone. I hope I am audible. Can someone just please confirm from my side? Yeah, if one of my team members can confirm if I am audible in the stream, then we can get started. Pratmesh, am I audible? Am I? Yes, great. All right. So, let's get started. Okay, so first of all, I welcome everyone to this workshop that is data visualization with Tableau. Yeah, okay, so let's talk. Okay, so Tableau is basically a data visualization tool, and then yeah, all right, I had some disturbance in the chat. Yeah, okay. So Tableau is basically an end-to-end data visualization tool which is used a lot in industry. Okay, we can define it as an end-to-end powerful and also secure interactive visual analysis software that is used a lot in data science and business intelligence industries. Okay, and why we use basically Tableau? Because it's easy and convenient. It's basically a drag and drop software. It's applied to basically any businesses. It works with any kind of data. It's very dynamic and it gives you real time analysis. All right, so let's just get started with Tableau. Okay, all right, so I believe you guys can see my screen now. Okay, so I gave you guys this drive link where you have to download these two CSV files. Okay, just download them and get them somewhere in your folder. Okay, these are two CSV files which we will check now. Okay, so first one is basically churn modeling. Let me just check. Yeah. Okay, so here we basically have a data set about a bank where we have certain categorical features about it, like if the owner has a credit card, how many number of products, what is his balance, tenure, basically how many years of, basically we can here consider it like how many years of permanent job he has. It says the gender, the geography, basically the location, his credit score, estimated salary, and etc. and etc. Okay, okay. In our data set, when we are trying to visualize, we really don't care about the row number or the customer ID or surname. Okay, because it really in visualization it really doesn't give us any good output. Okay, so that was one. We will create a dashboard on this data set and we will create another dashboard on this data set. Okay, so this is basically the Goldman Sachs stock analysis. That's basically from 1999 to, I believe it's quite recent. I believe it's till 25 August. So we have all the data available here. What was the opening price of that day? What was the highest, lowest, close, and volume, the amount of stock traded that day, and etc. Okay. So I believe everyone has downloaded Tableau public software. If you haven't, you do it right now, or if you cannot, you can just you obviously have to create your Tableau profile. And if you want to use it in your Chrome browser, you just come onto your profile and then you go ahead and create a Viz. Okay, so yeah, let it just load. Yeah, so here basically you have to drag and drop your CSV file, and there's limited amount of things you can do here, but still you can follow along if you don't have the software downloaded in your PC. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna close this right now. Okay, so yeah, let's go to the Tableau public software. Okay, so once you have downloaded the software, you will see this screen. Okay, so there won't be any projects because you have a fresh installation. Okay, so on the right hand side you have some cool discover and maybe news of Tableau, and on the left hand side you will see connect. Okay, so this basically shows like the different database files you can connect to. There's Excel files, there's text, that's basically text files or CSV files. Okay, comma separated values, they are basically text files. You can use JSON files, access PDF, and etc. Okay, so now I'm just going to select a text file, and I'm going to select my churn modeling CSV. Okay, great. Okay, so let it just load. All right, perfect. Okay, so as you can see, yeah. Okay, I haven't actually started implementing anything. Okay, but still I'll try to go a bit slower. All right, Sanya? Yeah, great. I hope I am still audible. Okay, so we have the data set right here. As you can see, this is basically the data source. I can add more CSV files from here if I want to. I can press this button to go back to my home. Okay, I have file, I can create new, I can open from my Tableau public page. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to sheet 1. Okay, sheet 1. So here's where all the magic happens. Okay, so as you can see, the columns of that data set churn modeling are now here. So as you can see, there's a line that separates that. So everything above this line are called dimensions in Tableau, and all of these are basically uh, categorical variables, and everything below that are numerical variables. As you can see, balance, age, estimated salary, etc. and etc. Okay, so yeah, let's see. We have different features here like data, worksheet, how to connect them, and etc. uh, we'll be seeing dashboards. We have story, we have analysis, and etc. uh, Again, here we have marks, which basically allows you to format and edit the graph that you have created. We have the filters panel, which basically allows us to put some conditions in our data set. Okay, and we have pages. We are not going to go see this right now. We have columns and rows. Okay, so let's just go ahead right now and create a simple visualization. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag the gender column here. Okay, so now I can see male and female, but I only have this. But I just have ABCD because I don't have actually any values in front of it. Okay, so whenever you import a data set, a file is automatically created with the name and calling count in front of it. That's basically giving us the number of rows our data set has. So I can drag this count over this ABC column, and then it will show me the number of female and males in our data set. Okay, that was cool. Yeah, so as you can see now in my marks, I have the basically the column, and as you can see, it's a continuous variable, and basically you can see it's a count variable which has been placed here, and in the rows we have gender. What I can do is I can pick up gender and place it in columns, and now you can see the male and female, the categories are now separated as columns. All right, so for now I'm just going to keep it in rows. uh, yeah, great. Now you can see this show me button here in the right? When I click on it, these are all the possible quick graphs we can make with Tableau. Okay, you just drag something in here and then see maybe what kind of graph you can create with it. Okay, so I'm going to click on horizontal bars right now. Okay, so that's great. Now you can see like I have the count available. I'm just going to put gender in columns, and I'm going to bring count in rows so that you have a clear understanding of this. Okay, so I'm just going to format it a bit. As you can see, we have this invisible line here which basically allows you to edit it. Yeah, so as you can see now I have male here, I have female, and I have the appropriate count. Okay, I can go ahead and check other ones. So I have a pie chart. As you can see, if I hover over it, I can see the gender female and then the count. All right, I can even see try other types of tables and other types of graphs like highlight tables. All right, then I have heat maps basically, and we have stack charts. Okay, I can try this packed bubbles. Okay, so it's very cool to look at, but for now let's just stick at our simple bar graph. Okay, so I have this column basically. I have this graph basically. Okay, so what I'm going to try to do now is format it a bit. All right, so I have it arranged with male and female. Okay, so what I can do, and I can right click and I can click on format. So as you can see now, I have the format panel open. I can go ahead and click on font. I can increase my font, I can make it bold, I can change the color, right? And I can change the shading as well. I prefer green shading to my to basically my axis. I can go ahead and just increase its size so you can clearly see. Same thing we can do to this axis as well. I can go ahead, uh, yeah, I can go ahead, I can click format, I can increase my size, I can make it bolder, and then I can change its color, right? Very simple. I can click this shading button, and now I can change the color of the entire worksheet. So I generally prefer this light blue green color. All right, so yeah. Okay, so now I have to hover over my male and female bar to basically see what my values are. Okay, so I don't want to hover, I just want to see what my values are. So what you can do now is you can let me just close this panel. So now that we are back here, let's try. Okay, we can try different values and see what actually gives us the correct answer. I'm gonna drag it from rows and I'm gonna put it in label. All right, see, now the graph disappeared. Okay, so why did that happen? Because I actually removed it from rows, so it's no longer a bar graph. Okay, so to tackle this, I can grab this, let's call it variable. I can grab it, I will press control and then I will drop it onto label. Okay, so when I drop it onto label, it will show me, it's basically the text, it will show me the value. Okay, so let's see this. You can try other different types of charts with this. Now let's keep it to automatic. We can change it to bar, but it's going to be the same. Yeah, we have size here, which will basically allow us to edit the size of a bar chart or any other chart. Right, we are just using the bar chart now. We can check color as well, which will basically change the colors. Right, simple. We can change the opacity. You can play around with this stuff. Okay, it's not that hard to understand. Okay, I'm just going to increase my opacity back, and even color I wanted something. Okay, okay, this is fine. All right, great. So I can edit my labels as well. Okay, so now as you can see, I can edit my labels fonts. I'm going to make it 10. I'm going to make it bold. Great. So as you can see, my numbers have also changed. Okay, so this was one basic way to create a simple bar graph. Okay, so let's create a pie chart, but with a little more detail. Okay, so if you just want to discard it, you can just drag the stuff and just place it outside now. All right, so let's try to plot the number of male and female according to geography. All right, as you can see now, geography, if you just quickly want to see your data set, you can just click on data source and you will get to see it, or you can click this view data icon here. All right, yeah. So as you can see now, we can see our CSV file right here. Okay, so what I want to do here is basically geography is basically a geographic variable. Okay, it tells me like it that it's text, but I want to change its role. Okay, so I'm gonna click on it, this little arrow below. I'm gonna click on it. I'm gonna go on geographic role and I'm gonna allot it as country and region. Okay, great. We will see that how that's useful to us. Okay, so now I just want to create my pie chart. Okay, we have the gender, we have well, that we have count. Okay, we created it with count, right? And I'm going to go and visualize my chart. I am going to take this and drop it onto label so that I have my count. All right. I can also take the gender, press control and drop it onto label. So now I have a correct idea of like these are female and these are male. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take geography and then I'm going to put it in columns. See, now you can see like we have three different pie charts. Okay, I'm gonna increase its size this way as well. It's an invisible line, so you have to be careful. Okay, all right, great. Okay, maybe I want to make it a little smaller because we are going to later fit it in the dashboard. All right, so great. So now as you can see, my data is separated according to France, Germany, and Spain. Now I can see the number of male in France, number of female in France, and in Germany and Spain, etc. All right, so that's pretty cool, right? Now you can allot them be like this. If you put this in columns, you have a vertical chart. Okay, but uh, you can adjust, you can format it to look good, but I usually prefer something like this in the columns. All right, great. So that is one of our charts which we will implement in our dashboard. If you have like no idea what dashboard is right now, let's just think we are going to create a page which comprises many of our charts and we can edit those charts and see everything for ourselves. Okay, so I'm just gonna call this pie chart. Okay, all right, the spelling pie chart. Now I'm going to create a new, basically a new sheet. All right, so let's try to plot some geographical data. As you can see, I had converted my geography variable into an actual, I had given it a geography category, right? So I'm going to drop it here. So as you can see, it's very impressive right here. Let it load. Yeah, now you can see it automatically generated the longitude and latitudes, and now I have it pointed towards Spain, France, and Germany, or the actual map of the world. I can just click on this icon to move around. Yeah, and I'm gonna go ahead and click on show me and then show me maps. Okay, so now we are colored and ready. Okay, so now what I'm going to see here is basically the count. Okay, let's just see count. You can try out other variables as well, but for our case let's just see count. I'm going to take this and let's drop it onto color and see what happens. Okay, yep, great. So as now you can see, we have the count allotted with the respect of color. So the darker the color, the more people there are. I can take this, I can press control and drop it on label as well. So now you can see I have the number of people in basically in my bank from different countries as well. I can name them as well. I can just take geography, I can press control, I can drag it onto label, and now you can see I have Spain, France written here as well. I told you you can adjust these values by just changing, making them bold. Okay, maybe you can add some more italics and etc, any stuff you want. Okay, but for now we are just learning, so let's learn the basically the topic and move forward. All right, I hope you guys are catching up with me. Yeah, so let's go ahead. So this was a basic chart. Okay, this was a basic map. Let's say for example you are doing a huge visualization which takes all of the country. Let's say you are making a visualization of coronavirus affected people or the confirmed cases or the deaths around the world. So what you can do is you can take those data sets from let's say Kaggle, and then you can put it in your Tableau, and bam, you have such a beautiful map visualization created in like how much time did that take us? That didn't even take us a minute. All right, seconds. If you try to do this in Python, you would not have coordinates. It would be otherwise very hard. You would have to use some other library. Yeah, it's possible. Of course, you should try it with Python as well. You should definitely do it with coding first before getting into such notebooks. But yeah, if you want a quick visualization, yeah, Tableau and software such as Power BI are the places you go to. All right. So Let's go ahead with the next visualization. We can create one more chart with this data set and then we can move ahead. Okay, so I'm going to call this map. Make sure you always name them properly. Okay, I created a dashboard. We don't need it right now, but we are going to go there soon. I can go ahead and create my new worksheet. I'm going to call it bar chart. Okay, let's just call it bar chart. It's going to be a complex bar chart, not so simple. Yeah. So now I'm going to introduce you to a concept called bins. All right. So you might be wondering what's bins. So bins are basically used to convert your numeric variables, let's say your balance, into categorical variables. Okay. So you might be wondering, well, how does that happen? How can you convert a numerical variable into a categorical variable? Okay, we divide them into segments. All right, that's very an amazing thing in Tableau which we can use. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to click on balance, yeah, and I'm going to go ahead and do create bins. Okay, so yeah, I have created my balance bin. I'm going to suggest the size of bins. Okay, so the difference you want, how much the segments are to be divided. Okay, so I'm just going to put 50,000. If you don't get it right now, just see what happens when I press OK and try to visualize it. Okay, so I'm going to put 50,000 and I'm going to click OK. So now as you can see, I have created another column called bins, which is now a categorical variable. Remember I told you that everything above this line are dimensions. That's basically categorical variables, and everything below are numerical variables. So I'm just going to drag balance here. Okay, I want it in the columns. So as you can see, I have it divided according to 0. So people who have balance from 0k to 50k will be in this column. From 50k to 100k will be in this column. From 100k to 150k in this column, and then so on. All right, cool. Yeah. Okay, so now I want a count of them. I can just grab my count. I can put it here. Great. I wanna see it in a form of bar chart. I just wanna arrange it properly. Great. So as you can see, I have it divided according to bins. All right. I'm just gonna increase its size so you can see it properly. Yep. Great. So now I have the total of them divided. I'm just to grab this and put it onto label so that now I have a count of it. Okay, so notice here there's a symbol right here. Okay, so when I click on it, notice what happens. Okay, so my entire data is arranged ascending order or now descending order. Okay, so I'll tell you why this is useful and why this isn't useful. Okay, so let's say in companies, if you are giving a presentation, you want it either to go ascending order or descending order. Okay, but in this case we don't want it like that, because here down below in our x-axis we have already given it a segment. Okay, so it goes from 0k to 50k, then to 100k. Okay, so if I make something like this, then my axis names are also chilled, because now these are categorical variables, right? So I don't want to see something like 250k, then 200k, then maybe 150k. Let's I just want to see it normal way. Okay, 150k, then comes 50, then 100, then 150. Okay, so now I'm going to take count again and I'm going to press control. I'm going to put it on color. Now as you can see, it's basically created the same graph again but with colors. All right, so now I can see the darker color means I have more values there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do this for all the countries. I'm going to take geography, and let's see this. Okay, the position matters where you put it. As you can see, there's a line here, forward and backward. I'm just going to put it here. So now see what happens. Okay, this looks very ugly, to be honest. Okay, you have France, Germany written again and again, and then you have the count. All right, it's an actual graph. You can actually draw inferences from it. Doesn't mean that we should use this. Okay, so let's just see what happens now. I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it behind balance. Okay, so arranging your data is more important. So now you can see it's a little bit more clean. It's not divided into so many segments. Now I can clearly see that yes, France has this many, Germany has this segments, Spain has these segments. All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and do some quick formatting. Follow along with me, guys. I'm just gonna go and make them 12. I'm gonna give them, yeah, I'm gonna format them again. I'm gonna make them bold. I'm gonna make them 12. Yeah, format, please. Yeah, in the axis. Okay, that was supposed to be done in axis, right? Black, and then I want to change my color to green. I like green color. You can keep whatever you want. Totally your choice. Yeah, now I'm going to give it the blue color. Okay, that isn't the color I used. Yep, this is. So as you can see, this is a much more cleaner and beautiful chart. I can make it more beautiful by grabbing geography, pressing control and putting it here. So now I have a much clear view of how things are working. All right. So I can just press here and change the name. I can double tap and change name also. I can go ahead and right click. I can edit access. Now I'm going to change the name here. I can, let's just call it count. All right, I have changed the name as well. Okay, so we have this beautiful graph created now. All right, there's something which we need to learn right now is filters. Okay, I told you about filters. They are basically conditions that you give so that you can basically visualize something with respect to a condition. Okay, so less than, greater than, include this, discard this. All right, so now I want to see a visualization which basically includes tenure. Okay, so how many people actually have tenure? I'm gonna grab this tenure. I'm gonna put it in filters. All right, I'm gonna take all of the values. Yes, I want the entire range. Okay, no, so now my filter is created, but everything now is selected. Okay, we remember what was in filters. Let's just go back and check ahead. Okay, yeah, let me just move this here. Do we have filters here? No, tenure, right? Yeah, so tenure are basically numbers. So how many years this guy have, we can consider it that way. uh, yeah, let's just consider it that way. Okay, so let's return. I'm going to click here and I'm going to click on show filter. Right, I hope you guys are following along. So now you can see I have a filter right here, so I can adjust this and now you can see the whole graph will change. Okay, so this is 0 to 10. I just want to see people who have tenure of 10. Okay, so now you can see the entire graph changed and now I can see only people who have a tenure of 10. All right, so that clears up my visualization very smoothly. You can add more filters anytime you want and check how stuff goes. I can drag this in this way. Yep, great. So yeah, now I want to create another filter. Let's create another filter. I'm gonna drag an active member. Yep, create a filter, apply, and then go. So now you can see this is active filter right now is a numerical variable, but in reality it's just 1 or 0. Okay, it's just 1 or 0. Doesn't that make it a categorical variable? Yes, but Tableau doesn't know that 1 and 0 is a categorical variable. No one knows. All right, it could have, if it was yes and no, then it would classify it as categorical variable. All right, so we have this here, but it's not useful to us. Of course, you can arrange it and still get information, but that's not how we want to do, and that's not the right way to do it. So I'm gonna remove his active member. I'm gonna, let's just try to put it here. Okay, it's still, it doesn't work. All right, okay, let me just cancel, and I'm gonna go on is active member, and I'm going to convert it to a dimension. All right, so now I have it named as a dimension. Now I'm going to put it in filters. Yeah, so now you can see I have a different pop-up. I'm going to select 0 and 1. You can even exclude it that way. So you can just unselect some and then click exclude, so it will exclude them and take all of their things. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and click show filter. Yep. All right, so if I just select 0, okay, is this customer an active member? Is he? No. So these many people are not. Okay, so these many people actually are. Okay, so I have created this one filter. What if I want this one filter to apply to all of my charts? Okay, what I'm going to do here right now is I'm going to click here, apply to worksheets, and then apply this to all of them. Okay, all using this data source. So everyone that's using the churn modeling.csv will be using this filter. Okay, now applied. Okay, so only one is selected. Let me go back to my pie chart. Okay, I have my filter right here, but I have to show it obviously. So as you can see, my filter has already created. We didn't need to drag it again and select 1 0 and then create it. I'm going to change it here. I'm going to go back and you can see that it has been changed. Okay, so that was filters. Great. So now we have created 3 charts. That means we can basically now try to create a dashboard. All right. So before creating a dashboard, there's something else I want to see. Uh, how can we do calculations in this? Okay, so I'm just going to go here, I'm going to go right click, create a calculation field. I can't name it anything. So let's see, let's say you want to create some mumbo jumbo calculation. I have the credit score, I can just type credit score like this. I can do multiplication and I can type maybe age. Okay, so I want to multiply its age and the credit score, and then I want some output. Okay, you can do this with, you can use any basic valid mathematical formula here. You can just find the remainders and etc and whatever you want, right? Cool. So yeah, I'm not going to do it right now. We are going to see another data set, that's the Goldman Sachs data set. We will do it there, but for now I'm just going to go ahead and click exit. Okay, now I'm going to create, let me delete this. Now I'm going to create a dashboard. Okay, new dashboard. As you can see now, I can see my sheets here. All right, great. Let's just drag one of our sheets here. Yeah, great. uh, just take your map here. I can use these arrows to adjust its size. Basically, I'm going to go back right now and I'm going to change its size. Okay, I'm going to make it smaller so that it fits in my dashboard. All right, cool. I think this size is enough. Let's go back. Yep, great. Okay, let me just increase its size. Okay, it's not increasing. Why? Because the size of my dashboard is very small. I want to increase its size a bit more. Okay, so let's keep it 1420. Yeah, great. So as you can see, I have my filter here as well. Okay, that's not actually a filter, more like a legend. All right. So yeah, we plotted map, and now let's bring in the pie chart. Let's drop it down below. I'm gonna decrease its size a bit. Okay, so if you want to get rid of this, you just go back to your pie chart and then decrease its size a bit. So as you can see now it's refreshed, and then you can properly see how it works. All right, great. So let's bring in our last, that's the bar chart. I'm gonna place it here. All right, that's pretty small. I'm gonna make it big. Okay, okay, so we don't need this actually. I'm gonna delete this. uh, okay, so I won't be needing this because it already shows me what country is what, and it's already like showing me Germany is this, Spain is this. Though I'm going to need, okay, so do I need this? So if I didn't put labels, I'm gonna need this legend, all right? So I'm just gonna show you, I'm just gonna make it floating. So once it's floating, now you can take it and drag it here. So now you can tell that female is blue and male is orange. You can go back and remove and make color changes, and then it will apply as well. Do I need this in reality? No, I'm just gonna go and delete it because It's uh, in the data science and visualization conventions, it's usually normal that darker colors represent higher density, higher concentration. So that's pretty obvious. Though if you want to keep it, you can. You are most welcome. Yeah, nobody's stopping you. Okay, we had the tenure filter for this bar chart, right? It wasn't applied to all of the data source. So let's just keep it here. Okay, so now as you can see, if I change, it will change. I'm going to increase its width a bit more so like you can see the data set. Yeah, great. So that's, I still can't see, but that's okay for now. We are just learning how to create a dashboard. You can work on making it more beautiful over time. Okay, so is an active member. Okay, so now this is really cool. You guys remember we put is an active member to each and every chart, right? As you can see in the filters. So now in my dashboard, when I undo everything, you can see everything basically changes. Yeah, great. So now I want to select 0 as well. So as you can see clearly that all of it is now changing. Yep. So I have the count according to the country, I have the count according pie charts. You can always go ahead and do it with respect to other variables. Now, since we are just learning, we are going to stick to the basics. Okay. So here is your first dashboard ready. Okay. We are done. Basically, the dashboard has been created. I want to go ahead and save this. Okay. We can obviously go ahead and make some more changes to make it more visually pleasing. Yeah, so its size basically decreases and we don't have this ridiculous column here. You can just adjust that over time, but basically our chart is ready. All right, so what you name down here is displayed as the name of the chart. You can do it individually from here as well. It's, everything you learn, an instructor teaches you up to a limit. Okay, after that it's all on you. Okay, you have to go ahead, you have to explore, you have to break certain rules, you have to break your software, you have to try to visualize insanely large data sets. You won't find out, you won't know what basically what strength or what range a certain software or a certain program goes until you test its limits, until you test your own limits, right? So keep pushing yourself, try to learn new things as well. All right, so now we have created our first dashboard. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and save it. So you can just go ahead and save to Tableau public. Yes, so I wanna call it, what do we call it? Let's call it churn modeling because it was the name of the dataset. Save. Okay, so it's already saving for me. If you hadn't logged in before, it might just ask you your login and password. You just put that in, and then basically your file will be saved. This is one of the features of Tableau Public. Might not call it a feature, but if you have the professional edition, it lets you save locally. And if you have the public edition, that is this one which we are using right now, it won't allow you to save it locally. All right, and it won't allow you to export it as images. You can only save it to your Tableau public. I have a professional account. If you can get it as well, great. I'm using public right now, by the way. Okay, so yeah, as you can see now my dashboard is created. All right, easy and simple. I can just give you this link. I have allowed other people to view it as well. Yeah, great. So now my first dashboard is created. Okay, I think, yeah. Let me show you one thing. If you click on this share button, you will get this embedded code. Okay, so it's basically an HTML script. You copy this and put it in your HTML code. We are going to check that. Okay, by the way, don't worry. You just copy this and put into your HTML code. You will get this graph embedded. You will get this dashboard basically embedded in your own HTML page. So let's say you are designing website. Like I said, you need analysis of the certain project you worked on. Easy peasy. You can just go ahead and paste this. All right, so that was our work on the first data set. We can, all right, so it's 5:38. We started on 5 o'clock. Let's take a break of let's say 2 to 3 minutes, and we'll be right back. All right. All right. So I think we can start now again. Yep. So let's just go back to my screen. All right. So welcome back again. Yep. So we did that project. We called it churn modeling. As you can see, it's saved now. Now we are going to enter into the next data set. That's basically the Goldman stack, the Goldman Sachs, I'm sorry, the Goldman Sachs stock analysis project. Okay, so yeah, here's our data set. Open, high, low, close, volume, adjust, close. Yep, great. Now this is basically a time series analysis. Okay, so we have dates right from 1999 to 2021. Okay, great. So as you can see now, the thing is, I have already been working in this data set. Yeah, so I don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do now is can go ahead and create new. You can just close the software and restart it again. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a new one. I'm going to create this, save this old one. Okay, it's already been uploaded to Tableau public, so I don't mind. Go to data source. I'm going to select my text file again, Goldman Sachs. Okay, let's just wait until it gets loaded. Okay, I am audible, right? Yeah, I am. Good. All right, so we had seen the data already. Let's go to our sheet. Okay, sheet one. Now we will try to do some time series analysis. Yeah, great. First, let's talk about that calculated field. Okay, so remember I told you how to create a calculated field. I basically right click. I'm gonna create a calculation now. Okay, so now what I want to do is I'm gonna create percentage difference of the high and the low values of the day. Okay, so how I can do this? I can just go ahead, whatever formula you want to apply. Okay, I don't really mind. I can go high minus low. I'm going to put brackets to this. Okay, divided by high plus low, close bracket. I'm yeah, Prathamesh. Yes, Prathamesh, go ahead. Okay, am I audible in the stream? Okay, can you guys hear me in the stream right now? Okay, that's odd. I'm pretty sure my mic is on here. Okay, so you guys can't hear me in the stream right now? I am audible, right? Alright, can someone in the chat please tell me yes, yes, I am audible. Great. Cool. Okay, so I'm gonna keep going on. If yeah, if my team can WhatsApp me on message directly if I am not audible. Okay, just WhatsApp me. Okay, so we were working on our formula, right? So I wanna basically multiply this by 100. Okay, whatever formula you want. I'm gonna go ahead and call this percentage difference. Cool. Now I have now I have another variable created, a column. I'm gonna try to visualize it. Let's see if we can see it here. Yeah, percentage difference. So as you can see now we have the percentage difference from high to low. That means basically on that day what was the low price and the high price difference, subtract that and get me the percentage of that difference. Okay, so I hope you guys are clear on that. Okay, so cool. Let's just close that and let's try to visualize our time series graph. Okay, so I have date here. So date is basically a date variable. Okay, as you can see a small calendar sign here. I'm gonna grab this and put it in columns. Yep, so I have it arranged according to the years. Okay, I'm gonna take measure values and I'm gonna drag it on columns. Okay, so that's pretty weird. Okay, I don't want it like that always. Okay, so what does this even show? Okay, so all this weird stuff. Okay, I don't want it to be like that, right? So let's try to put here the high value and then let's try low. Okay, so we have two graphs here actually. Let's try to visualize it with maybe lines. Okay, so we are already doing that. So this is a rough graph basically. So what it basically shows you is in the year 2007 what was the high price. Okay, so now see here's the difference. It's showing me the high price of the year 2007, but look at the price that says 53,800. Okay, so that wasn't the actual price. So go ahead and see here. As you can see, it's the sum. So it's the sum of all the values of 2007. Okay, I definitely don't want that. So what I can go ahead and I can take median or average. So give me the average of what the stock value was that on that year. Okay. So now you can go ahead and select average because values don't just change drastically. Yeah, so now you can see you have the average actual value. Okay, so that high value seems plausible. Okay, so the value was $214. I'm gonna go ahead and do the same for low. I'm gonna select average. Okay, so you see this small top left rectangle. I'm gonna take that and drop here. So as you can see, I have some double lines, which means in my one graph I plotted the both of the things. Okay, but they are not actually clearly visible. So I'm going to take the measure values, I'm going to press control, I'm going to put it on color. Okay, so now you can see I have it changed basically. So I don't want that. I can go ahead and can edit in the colors. I can select some other color. I can basically select something like this, apply. Yeah, great. Okay, so yep. So this is my basic graph. What I want to do here is, let me just go ahead and undo this. All right. So what you can do now is you can test out other features as well. Okay, let's try to put high in color. Let's try to put low in color. You just have to go ahead and keep trying and trying, and you might come up with some different results always. Okay. So let's just go ahead and check. You can check area charts, you can check line charts, you can check this chart. Okay, that seems cool. Yeah, and you can also check out tree maps. So I'm just gonna go ahead and control Z everything. Yeah, so here we were. So now I want to see this. Okay, so now basically first what I want to do is I want to create a filter. Okay, because it's showing me from 1999 to 2000 and 21. I don't want that. I'm gonna go ahead and create a filter. I want it by years. I want to select all of these years. Yes, apply. All right, cool. Now I'm gonna go ahead and click see filter. We had already done this. Okay, now in filters, you can go ahead, click here, and you can see these values on the right side. Okay, so now in 1 year, I only want to see one, basically one value at a time. Okay, so I'm going to select single value drop down. Okay, so here's for 2009, here's for 2013. Okay, but this doesn't seem right. Okay, I just have one dot because it's showing me everything only for 1 year. What I can do now is I can go ahead, I can click here, and I can change this to, let's see what happens if we change it to day. Okay, okay, so it gives me numbers of the day. So it's taking the 1st of January for, it's taking the 1st of January, 1st of February, 1st of March and everything. We don't want it that way. I'm going to go ahead and select day here. All right, okay, so I think this is more comfortable to look at. Okay, so as now we can see we have the high and low values according of 2013 of each and every day of 2013. High value, low value, high value, low value. Right. Let me just try to put it here. Great. So this is so beautiful. Okay. This is really now looking like an actual stock trading graph, all the jargons of the financial world, whatever you want to call it. All right, cool. I want to change color. I want to keep high as green. I want to keep low as red because that's the standard convention. Yeah. All right. So now you can see it according to 2013. What was my high price? What was my low price? Okay, so now we are seeing according to each and every day, right? So it won't matter if you are taking average or you are taking sum or anything else. Okay, don't take count because it will give you only one. Okay, that's pointless, right? But average and sum, because for that day the sum there's only one value, so it's going to sum, for example, 153.96 plus what, plus nothing for only that day. Okay, so I hope that's clear. All right, cool. So now we have this basic chart visualization. So that's letting us see what was the price for that certain year and etc. Okay, so now let's create another filter, but this time I'm going to filter it with month. I'm going to take date, I'm going to put it in filter again, but this time I'm going to select month. I want it for all, apply, and okay. So now I have another filter created. Show me the filter. Now let's keep it like this. Okay, let's unselect and let me show C of only December. So you have the stock of only December. Then let's say you want November along with it, October, September, August, whatever you want, however you like. So that you can see it's pretty easy to edit values, to change everything. Yeah. So that's one graph. I'm gonna quickly format it. I'm gonna give it a nice blue background. I'm gonna format my axis. I'm gonna make it black, 12, bold, and the color will be green. I like green. Uh, yeah, green, 12, and black. Right, so now let's call it open close graph. All right, perfect. That is our open and close graph. As I have told you, you can go ahead and change these values by clicking edit axis, but for now let's just keep it as it is. Yeah, so now let's create the next value. Okay, so we did this for high and low. So what was the, let me close this. So what was the high value on that day and what was the lowest value on that day? Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create a similar graph. Okay, so but this time I want to create it with help of open and close. You can do the same thing. Okay, okay, let's not waste our time. Okay, so this was high and low, right? So I'm supposed to name it high and low. That's my bad. I'm gonna rename it. I'm gonna call it high and low. That's why you must be aware. High low graph, right? So you can create exactly similar graph using the open and close values. Okay, so you can plot that thing as well. Right? Great. Now take the next one. Now I want to plot a bar chart, but it should be a bar chart of volume. Okay, you see volume here. I want to put, firstly I want to put date here. Okay, so you can just go ahead and put date here, or what I can do is I'm gonna just cancel everything. I'm gonna go to my high low graph. I'm gonna duplicate this graph. Okay, so now we have high low 2. I'm gonna change this to month. Okay, I'm gonna remove this. I'm gonna put a volume here. I want a bar chart basically. Okay, I'm gonna rearrange my stuff. Great. Let me just, okay, so for now I'm gonna select all of them. Okay, so like you guys can see properly what's what and what's not. Okay, so let me just, okay, where's that damn line? Okay, you can do that, or I'm just gonna decrease its size. Alright, I still need to edit that line. Yep, here it is. Oops. Great. So now we have it for all of the months, and we have the filter year. I'm gonna show the filter. Okay, okay, that filter was already there. Yep. So I'm seeing for 2017. Okay, let's just do one thing. Let's apply this filter everywhere. Okay, all using this data source. Okay, so I have new sheet here. Okay, so we were already using it, but never mind. Now we have applied it everywhere. Okay, so now you can see the volume that was traded. I'm going to take volume, I'm going to put it in label. So now you can see the actual amount of stocks that were traded that day. Okay, so here's the thing you need to know. Stocks, basically the volume is the basically the quantity of stuff that was traded on that day. So you don't want an average of it. Okay, you can obviously create an average of it, but that's not the point. You want to see all the number of stocks, that were traded in January in the year 2017. We have selected 2017, we have January, so here is the number of stocks that were traded. So I'm going to call this volume, and I want to put this in color as well. So now you can see it's a bit more beautiful. Yeah, everyone can agree on that, I guess. It's month of date. You can go ahead and format it. I'm not going to format it again because that's just taking more time. Yeah, so now you can see we have created a beautiful volume chart. Basically, it's a bar chart, but it's basically showing us the volume of years. I'm going to change this so we can see it for all the years. So for our case, let's just keep it to 2021. Okay, so as you can see, we have the value still August because it's still September, right? So yeah, it's the most latest data available. Yep. So I wanted to tell you something like this isn't just some random values. Okay, if you go ahead, if you check this value right here of a certain date, let's say on 26th May 2021, if you check that high value, if you go ahead and Google it, it will be exactly the same value. Okay, it may differ from some point, like maybe 2 points, but yeah, the data is very accurate and real data. So yeah, now we have created volume as well. Okay, great. So now we can go ahead and since we are creating a dashboard, let's try to make it beautiful this time. Okay, so yeah, I want to create a new sheet. We already have it. I'm gonna put basically I want to see the average. I want to see the high, the low values, and etc. I'm gonna put this in columns. I'm gonna put this in rows. Okay, let's okay, the low, we already have low, right? We can put open here. Okay, this is great, but we don't actually want it like this. Yeah, so I'm just gonna create it into a table again. I'm gonna put it in measure values. You can just click here if anything's basically a graph, and if you just want a text table, you can just click here. Okay, I want to see my filters. Show filter. Okay, yeah, so I want to change this now, and I want to see for only that year. So now this is sum. Again, I'm telling you, this is the sum. Let's change it to average. You can change it to medium as well, median, and then average. So now we have the average values. Okay, so we have the low, we have the high, we have the open. Uh, let's take volume as well. Okay, I'm gonna put volume here as well. Okay, great. So now volume here is actually the quantity traded, so we don't want to do anything to that. So let's keep it to sum. Great. So I want I want months here as well. So I'm going to create another filter. I could just copy it from the last one, all of them. Yep, apply. Show me that filter. Yeah, I want to say this as a single value slider. Okay, so since we are seeing it of 21, we don't have the actual values ahead, but yeah, we can see it in this way. Let's format it. I want it to look very beautiful this time. I want the color to be okay. Let's try some different color this time. Okay, definitely not that one. Okay, great. Uh, yeah, so I want to change the text. Let's try to see if something happens here. Yeah, you can make this stuff bold like this as well. So as you can see now, this stuff was converted into bold. Yeah, great. Uh, okay, so now that we have created this simple chart, we want to now create another chart. Okay, so you can color this however you want. You can change the fonts. Let's just change it again. Maybe I want it to be green, and I want the fill to be black. Okay, so maybe this looks a bit more nice. I want to give this color blue. Okay, I like blue. I'm gonna call this maybe numbers, because we're gonna put this in our dashboard. All right, great. So now you guys remember we had created this. Let me just close this and show you percentage difference, right? So I'm going to create a new worksheet, and now we will plot the same thing again. Okay, so it will be basically this graph, but not the bar graph exactly, but it's going to be a time series graph, but using the day. Okay, so I'm gonna put day here. I want it by day. I want the percentage difference here. Let's take the median this time. Okay, and then maybe I want the label to show as well. I can edit my labels as well, maybe. Yeah, okay, however you want. If you want to show them like vertically, horizontally, however you like. Yep, so this is very ugly. Okay, we don't definitely don't want it this way. Show me the filter. Okay, it's only selecting. Yeah, okay, so this is a very ugly one. I want to change this to show me only for that month. So I'm going to go ahead and create another filter, months. We have already seen how to do this. Okay, so that's why I'm doing it so fast. So now I want to see it again. Uh, Select none, and then show me just August. Okay, great. So this is my line. I'm going to give it a red color this time. I want to format my this to blue firstly. Okay, so now that looks quite good, let's say. So here is the percentage difference basically for August, and for all the days. So as you can see, the percentage difference of high value and low value was this much. Then that's basically 1.4. Okay, so we can do it like this as well. So let's try to format this. Let's see if we can make some other changes. uh, can we increase its size? Okay, that's a little bit too much. Okay, so pane, so header. Yup, great. So you can just play around with this stuff and see if you find something cool. Yup. So now what we can do is, now that our chart is ready, we can go ahead and plot it. Okay, so Let me just see if I can play a bit more. I want you to give a few minutes to play a bit more with this. So I'm just gonna take a break of 1 minute, and I'm gonna see, and then we are going to proceed ahead. All right, so let's begin again. Okay, I hope I am audible properly. Now that we're almost at the end of this workshop, so hang tight. Okay, so now that we have created this, uh, let's apply this to the entire data source. Okay, we have applied this already. I want to apply this to the entire data source as well. So now I'm going to go ahead and create my dashboard. I want to create it of a large size. Let's call it, let's let's go big. Okay, I think that's enough. Maybe a bit smaller. Okay, yeah, I think that's enough. All right, so now let's make our table. Okay, let's create our dashboard basically. All right, so now I want my hilo graph. That's pretty big. I don't want it to be that big. Okay, so I'm just gonna make it a bit smaller. I can always make it floating. Can I make it floating, this one? Let's see. Yep, I can. I can make it floating, but now it looks a bit odd, to be honest. Firstly, I want to make these floating, all right, because these are very difficult to handle floating. I am just going to delete this because it's obvious that green is high basically, right? So, okay, what the hell? Okay, so now I made it like this. Okay, let's just leave it that way. I'm gonna bring in my next chart. Wow. Okay, so I shouldn't have probably made it floating in the first place. I'm just going to delete everything again. I'm gonna drag my this thing here. Then I'm gonna make it a bit smaller. I'm gonna drag the volume chart here. We can always adjust stuff and make them look beautiful later. Okay, great. Okay, so in the volume section, do we have this for all of them? All right, now we do. Yeah, and it's looking pretty bad to be honest, but we can change that always, so no worries about that. Yeah, just gonna go ahead and make this look beautiful a bit. Yeah, and what else is there? What else is there? I'm gonna delete this thing. We don't need it again. I'm gonna delete this thing. We don't need it. What else sheet is there? Okay, we have this thing. I'm gonna put it here. Okay, that's probably not the right place to put it, but It's still good. I'm gonna bring this here now. Okay, so now I want to increase, I want to divide this in this way. I think I should make it floating because then I could probably arrange it in a better way. Okay, so probably shouldn't have done that because now it's not allowing me to move it. Okay, so I just did Control Z. All right, great. So yeah, now we have this. I'm going to delete this as well now. So now what I can do is I can change these. I'm going to change this to floating. All right, because it doesn't take a lot of value, a lot of space. Okay, so I'm just going to keep it here for time being. I'm going to arrange this in this way. Okay, so are the numbers shown? Okay, that's a bit too much. Yeah, so now these numbers are looking normal, but like I have taught you, you can always go ahead and make them bold and make them look beautiful. Okay, so this was the basic dashboard. Let's just make it a bit, let's just work it a bit more on it, so then we can go ahead. All right, let's see what will happen if I try to make this floatable. All right, so it's taking space now. Maybe what I can try to do is I can make this a single value slider. But then again, if you make it a single value slider, this chart and these ones won't look that good. Alright, so I'm gonna create it to a multiple values drop down list. Okay, so I'm just gonna format it a bit. I want to select up till, okay, let's select July and August. That's great. You can always arrange them and keep them wherever you want. I'm gonna keep this here. And I'm gonna keep the date here. Alright, so now let's change the year. Let's see for the 2021 values. Yeah, great. So, all right, this is not visually that beautiful, maybe because I'm talking about the UI design. Okay, the graphs are obviously very beautiful, and I've shown you how to edit them, how to format them, and you know how to change the colors, how to create multiple graphs. But for learning purposes, we are going to stick with this one. You can always go ahead and use your own beautiful mind to create more realistic and more beautiful graphs. Yeah, but our basic graph is done. Okay, so now we have seen what all the things we can do in Tableau. We have navigated to the entire section of Tableau. We have seen connecting files, labeling, formatting, selecting worksheets, creating basic charts, calculating fields, and then bins, geography maps, and then making charts and stuff, and etc. Okay, so now what we can do is I'm going to show you that how we can put it into our website now as well. So for now, let's say our dashboard is created. Okay, so it's called sheet 4 still. I'm going to call it percentage diff. Okay, so that's cool. I'm going to save this. Uh, okay, book 2 is cool. Okay, book 2 already exists. Let's call it book 23. Okay, so I guess now it has been saved. This was our old chart and now this is our new chart. Let's wait until it loads. So now you can see we have our dashboard ready. Okay, so now I can change the values and I can visualize how stuff works. All right, cool. Okay, that's weird because it's weird because we selected it in this way. Okay, so you don't do it like that. Okay, that's just playing in a wrongful manner. Okay, so yeah, great. So now this dashboard is created. Let's go to my profile and see the same Goldman dashboard that I previously created. Okay, so yeah, this one, the Goldman dashboard. So as you can see, this is the same dashboard that I have created. Uh, I have it allotted on this side. So yeah, I did it like that time. I have this allotted here. I have the numbers on the left hand side. I have the graph with the date. I can change the year and change my graph however I want. Okay, so that's the same graph I created. Okay, it's just the same. Yeah, so I was talking about this share button, right? So now it gives you the embed code. You can share this public link with anyone and they can see. Well, of course, you have to go it in settings and allow them to see. Show this with on profile, allow access, allow them to share it, allow them to use it in their own places. I'm just going to copy this embedding code and let's try to visualize it. I'm gonna go in my computer. Okay, I already have this ready in a certain project, so I obviously think that every one of you has ever sometime in their life worked with HTML, right? Even if you don't, it doesn't matter. Okay, we are not learning HTML here. Yeah, okay, so this is just some basic code that I created. It doesn't do much. It's just a dummy website I once created. But here is the cool thing, okay? So as you can see here, this is the exactly the same thing that I copied from there. Okay, let me just paste it again. Yep. So as you can see, I've just pasted the same thing again. Let me just go back. Yeah, Tableau placeholder and etc. and stuff. Okay, that's the same thing. So now what I can do is I can just visualize this in my website. Okay, you can right click if you have VS Code right now set up. If you don't, you can always try this later. I'm just showing you how to do this right now. You can consider this a bonus tutorial. You can just go ahead and create open with live server. If you don't have a if you don't have that option available there, you can just go into extensions, type live server and then install this live server. Okay, back to the code. I'm just gonna go right click, open with live server. Let me close this thing. Okay, so this was my basic project that I did, a useless website. Yeah, so now as you can see, I have my dashboard loaded. Okay, so now I have two dashboards because I pasted the same link twice. Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and check them out. Yep. So as you can see now, I have successfully placed my dashboards in my website. Okay, the size is too big, but obviously you can place them in containers, change their size, put them borders. That's more of an HTML part. You can arrange them. But as you can see, I can use it exactly the same way as how I was using it in Tableau. Let I can change the year and I can change my visualization. Okay, so this is a pretty cool and pretty advanced thing which Tableau allows to do us very easily. So let's say you try to do this with Python and then show me. I'll give you some award. Okay, obviously you can do it, but it's going to be very difficult. Okay, we started from bottom ground. We had no knowledge about Tableau, and now we can embed our dashboards in Tableau. Okay, so that's great. With that, we can come to the end of this Tableau session. Uh, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. You can subscribe to our channel, leave us a like, share it with your friends. I myself personally also have a YouTube channel. It's called Dancrat, Dancrat. You can go ahead and subscribe to that as well. I usually play games and teach data structures on that channel. All right, so I believe now we can come to the end of this session. Thank you for watching. All right, guys. Bye bye. This stream is now ended. You can leave us. You can leave the you can leave it.